Good evening, Ira Epstein, and here we are with your Wednesday evening metal market wrap-up. And this wrap-up is for 6:30 p.m. on May 3rd, 2023. It is Wednesday. So for the naysayers that didn't believe that the Fed would go up 25 basis points, and there were plenty of them, they did. For the people that believe that the Fed isn't going to go higher, well, it depends which side of the mouth you believe that the Fed chair was talking on. You know, they removed a statement that alluded that they were going higher in rates, but then at the same time, the Fed said, what? They're data dependent. Well, I think they've been saying they're data dependent for months on end right now. And the data has been bullish to the point where the economy is strong. They're not beating down the inflation the way it's going. The Fed chair also made a point of saying that it's not just wage inflation that is creating the inflation. There's cost of goods and other parts to it. Good part to it there. But when he made a statement that the banking system is stronger than it was in March, which day of March? Is this before the banks failed? Or the month as a whole, now that that's behind you? Unfortunately, Fed Chair Powell, who I have great admiration for, by the way, PacWest could be your next issue. Tonight, the bank is in serious trouble. The stock is down, 58% tonight, down under $3 a share. They're looking for a suitor, which means somebody come rescue me. Otherwise, this could be the fourth failure. It's staring you in the face because it's only Wednesday. This thing has legs to it, and I don't know what to expect of it. I think it's part of the reason that you're getting a bid into the bonds and notes. The market is scared. Another bank, that'd be the fourth one. How many are after that one? You don't really know. So this is how I'm reading it, and that was what I walked away with. I am not of the opinion, as the market thinks, and I want to tell you this, the market is building in 2 rate cuts this year. After this statement, I'm not in that camp. I'm still in the camp that you'll pause. I don't know when, but you'll pause. It could be maybe we're one and done already. Maybe the June meeting's the pause. But I think you will pause, and I'll stay with what I said. Unless you get a severe banking crisis, worse than we're having, including PacWest, and unless some other event happens to the market, the Fed will stay focused on fighting the inflation, which means letting what they've done run its course to see where it's at. Now, if it ran its course in such a terrible way that the economy starts tanking, then I'm with you fellas that think, yes, the Fed is going to cut rates, have no choice to rescue the economy. Do I see that right now? From everything I'm seeing and from what the Fed chair said, and I have to assume he's got a better viewpoint than you or me, he's not seeing that either at this point in time. So that's where you're at. So the market's going to look at a few things. Number one, I think this action is bearish for the dollar. I think it is bullish the metal markets, not necessarily copper. Why? Because world economies are slow and slowing. And as they do that, items like copper, energy markets are staying under pressure. Why? Because if you slow down, do I really need to operate this factory at 10 hours a day? I'll go to 7. Got what I'm saying? It's things of that nature, and that starts taking its impact. And while you'll say, well, the market's saying that the bonds and notes, Ira, just look at them, they're running. Okay, you got it wrong. The market's already building it in. Is it that, or is it the banking crisis? I don't know. I think that the short-term money, short-term, 0 to 2 year, is going to look at what the Fed does. Get into the 5s and the 10s, it's a little bit different. I can accept that argument. When we look at gold, you're up 3% for the week. Now, you're going into Thursday's trade. That's a pretty good gain. And these are new all-time highs. That's on a closing basis. In the June gold, you can see you've stuck your head out up here. The market is what? You've got a lower low, higher high. I don't like that configuration. Uptrends normally have higher highs and higher lows. What this is you've come from 1982 all the way up to 2085. You've rallied $100 an ounce with every single day having a higher high, not a lower low. I term that a vertical price rise. You never know where they're going to go. When they start, they just seem to start. To catch them, you almost got to be, in fact, you have to be a bottom picker. Why would you have bought down there? And the market did it. Terrific. You can't catch every trade as a trader. You're looking for patterns that make sense. That's not one to me. The market's over the 18-day average. So on pullbacks, I know where some support might show up. And the resistance, well, you got over the Bollinger Band tonight. Am I clear? Tonight. Not during the daytime. Tonight. Why? Well, the settlement time in gold, the settlement time comes in at what hour? 12:30 p.m. So now you're dealing with that. Now, I want to explain before we get off of the gold chart here, the yin-yang, what's going to go on. We have the Fed statement at 1 o'clock. 1:30 is the press conference. What time is that in Asia? They're sleeping. What time is it in Europe? They've just all gone and left their offices. The big banks are closed. Everything's done. That doesn't mean there aren't traders at desks. Not many, though. So it's the yin-yang. We move from us into Asia overnight. They'll react to whatever we've done. Then it moves on to Europe. Sometimes you get confirmation when you come back. Sometimes you get a complete different move. In addition, tomorrow morning, you have the European Central Bank making their bank announcement. And on Friday, you have the all-important jobs data. There's a lot to digest here, so be careful. I want to repeat, if you haven't taken my enhanced Bollinger Band course, you need to do so. Do you buy the first challenge of a Bollinger Band? I hope you do, because I want traders to have somebody to get out from. Because only 5% of the time does that work, not staying over or under the band. In addition, generally speaking, the first test of it is a zone where you get all the euphoria and then quickly it dissipates. Doesn't have to, but quickly it often does. In the gold-silver, gold is now getting stronger than silver. Why? Notice how the market's trying to stay over the 18-day average of 79.06. Current price is trading 79.29. So that means that you need more ounces of silver to get 1 ounce of gold. And you're caught in the sideways action in the silver. So as gold is over the band, not in this sideways action, look at how silver's caught here. This doesn't mean silver doesn't have a lot of upside potential. Sideways action creates events, big ones. These are my favorite patterns for when a market's going to come out of that and make a move, up or down. I watch it like a hawk, but this is often where traders get chopped up. You go down to the Bollinger Band, there's no follow-through. You go up to the band, there's no follow-through. You start scratching your head going, what am I doing wrong? What you're doing wrong is you're playing the sideways pattern, in my opinion. In the copper market, well, if the banks, the United States, Reserve Bank of Australia, European Central Bank, it's expected next week that the Bank of England, if they're all raising rates, is that really bullish on the copper market? Because when you raise rates, you're trying to slow economies down. And if you're slowing them down, do you need as much copper at this point in time? And that's the negative on markets like that. In the platinum, you're in a downtrend right now. To break it, we've got to get back over temporarily that high, which is pretty far away from where you're at this point. In the palladium, lower highs, lower lows. Market's still sitting there down pretty good. We'll see what happens. And as you can see, you're oversold. I wouldn't tell clients to chase it. And in the dollar, back and forth. I do believe the dollar's headed lower over time now, but not this pattern. This is just a whipsaw pattern back and forth. So it's an interesting evening. And as I told traders, I was going to write a detailed letter tonight, and in that letter explain all my thoughts. I've done it. So if you want to get my letters, how do you get them? We'll give you a 2-week trial. It'll include access to my morning subscriber video as well. All you need to do is move your cursor up to the top here, and you'll see an icon appear. It'll take you into our free offers on our webpage. Sign up for that. If not, you can just go to www.iraepstein.com, free offers. Couldn't be any easier. So with that, I'm Ira Epstein. I'll be talking to you in the next video in a minute here. Let's see what goes on.